smokes. I can't believe it. We actually did it, you guys. We are here. We are podcasting. Honestly, though, to try and imagine that anyone would actually listen to me talk about, well, anything ad nauseum, well, it's just beyond me. Now, if you know me personally, you'll know that I've been wanting to start a podcast for quite some time. And so I have to start with a huge thank you to everyone who has supported me and who reached out and asked me, when is your podcast happening? Well, it's happening now. In this episode, we will be exploring the role of authenticity. We will gain insight into how it's been interpreted throughout time, from ancient to modern moral thought. Finally, my mission is to empower you, to show you how authenticity sets us free and makes us feel more beautiful, inside and out. In the next episode, I'll be going into more detail as to why I felt compelled to start an ongoing podcast about authenticity. So without further ado, whether you're driving, walking, or cleaning, and you're listening to my voice right now, welcome to Audiothentic. I'm your host, Maria Garcia, and this is your unofficial guide to being you, to inspire you to never squash your shine, and to go after what you really want out of life. So what does it really mean to be authentic, real, bona fide? In existentialism, it is when our actions in the external world are congruent with our internal beliefs and desires. But we already know what it means, don't we? Simply put, it's just a feeling, and well, when you know, you know. Because the truth is, we all have this seemingly transcendent, primordial intuition for it. We can tell when we are or aren't being authentic. And we can also detect it in others. We have a built-in radar for it. So why are we so attuned to this? And why do we struggle with it? Ancient philosophers thought that to be inauthentic was to be unethical. My sense is that it can be hard to live in a world without your internal self being confronted by external pressure. For most of us, probably on a daily basis. We lend ourselves to the ideologies of the external world because we're inclined to rationalize their utility in our lives. Whichever model of conformity we choose for ourselves, the exchange for your soul, your true self, along with all of your true desires and ambitions, it falls short of leaving us fulfilled. Our insecurities sometimes take the driver's seat, and we live in a society that often elicits these anxieties within us. Coexisting with these pressures and who we feel we actually are on the inside is our lot in life. Often, we learn to comply with these standards imposed upon us by social and societal pressure. With time, we are covertly taught to become obedient to these external standards. We begin to covet and do things outside of ourselves, rendering us as subservient and obedient beings, confined in our own shadow, ignorant of our own potential. I am dubbing this process the falsification of the self. Society doesn't sell beauty, it sells the idea that you don't already own it. Donald Winnicott was a pediatrician and psychoanalyst who introduced a psychological concept to describe a true and a false self. The true self represents our authentic desires and feelings, whereas a false self is a polished misrepresentation. A false self changes its behavior and represses unfavorable parts of itself in order to feel accepted, to feel beautiful, in order to survive. Winnicott poses that the false self serves as a barrier or shield to protect the true self that resides at the core. We are convinced by the idea that we have to be false in order to properly live. We accept the falsification of the self as a prerequisite to life, a part of the transition from child to adulthood. Where the problem lies, however, is depending on what sort of childhood you had. You might have never been given the opportunity to truly be your true self. And that's something I hope to discuss, to break down, and to speak openly and authentically about. I want to create a space where you can come approach me and we can discuss your story as well. My hope is that we learn from this experience and learn how to restore our relationship with authenticity, with our true selves, and to not buy in to the pressures to falsify ourselves in order to feel accepted. What I truly hope for and desire out of this podcast is to teach and learn about being our true selves. I want this to be a place where people can come to and just feel authentic and listen to authentic people. And I want you to walk away feeling more beautiful and like you can truly own yourself because of this experience. This is my hope and dream, and I actually started this whole process just over a year ago. And in that time, though I did experience, some life-altering changes, apart from just COVID, I found that something that held me back was not doing this well enough and not doing it perfectly, if I'll be honest. And I've realized since then, now, as I record this, that to do this perfectly would be going against the entire principle of the entire nature of this podcast. And if it's called Audiothentic and we're talking about authenticity, well, I think that this is a pretty good start. And I hope you do too. I hope that you like and you follow, you subscribe, and you come along with me on my journey and finding what is authenticity, what makes people authentic, how can we be more authentic, and why that makes us beautiful. Thanks for listening. Tune in to the next episode.